I feel like it's karaoke night down in the basement.
It feels weird because I don't have a buzz on.
Yeah, what the
Opie Anthony, Jim Norton, and Mary Weiland entering the studio. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show.
Good.
Pretty good.
Well,
you got a new book called A Memoir of Drugs, Rock and Roll, and Mental Illness. And, wow.
Yeah.
You're being very open in this book, which is very refreshing.
Isn't that nice?
Talking about being bipolar, talking about heroin, talking about your ex, Scott. Mm-hmm. We're all big STP fans, by the way.
Yeah, everybody should be a big STP fan.
Yeah?
They're awesome.
They are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were a lot of stories about Scott. Some true, some not, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
a lot not true, actually.
Yeah, I would gather. A lot of people would wonder, though, how far did it go? Because you'd always hear, like, every tour, oh, my God, what is Scott doing? He's screwing this up or that up. And obviously, you would know, so.
I would. I'm the person to ask.
Yeah. So you put it in the book?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I wanted to have some fun in there, too. I don't want to put anybody into a coma.
Right.
The most important part for me was getting across the addiction and the bipolar and hopefully being able to help somebody, but I want to have fun, too.
Yeah. How did you meet Scott? I hear you were a model, right, in L.A.? And Scott Weiland was actually your driver?
Yeah, when I was 16, I didn't have a license, and you can't get around L.A. without a car. And a friend of mine said, I know this guy. He's in a band. He's looking for a day job.
Jesus.
So I paid him $8 an hour. A lot of people think it was like he was my chauffeur driving me in a limo, but it was just this old beat-up Chrysler that used to ruin all my shoes. It was leaking all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you hired him for $8 an hour, and I believe, if I read this correctly, then the band got discovered a mere few weeks after that, right? And no more Scott Weiland.
I think it was maybe 3 months, and then he got a deal.
And he said, well, I can't drive you around anymore. I'm going to be a big rock star.
That's right. I would have, too.
Right.
How long after that did you guys, realize that you wanted to date?
2 years.
Or did you reconnect?
Well, you know what?
2 years.
She was 18.
I was emancipated. So give the man some slack.
Oh, no, I'm just saying.
No,
believe me, you ain't catching any flack from me on that subject.
You only knew.
Yeah, no, I knew. The minute I was introduced to him, I said, I'm going to marry that man.
Wow.
But how much longer before you started dating?
Well, we hooked up about a year later in London and always kept in touch. And then he married his longtime girlfriend for a minute. And then
For a minute, yeah.
I could understand why it was a minute for her.
Oh,
and
really?
That was a rough time for him.
Right.
And we hooked up again. We reconnected after that.
Now, were you doing heroin when you met Scott?
No.
Did he introduce you to the heroin?
Yeah, he did. I mean, I was no angel.
Right.
Yeah.
Jimmy's a very sweet boy.
Isn't he sweet?
I just feel that a guest should have water in front of him.
Yes.
That's
Good.
my
I've
motto.
been spending so much time talking about myself. Not only am I over myself, but I need water.
That's what I provide. I'm horrible in bed, and I don't make a lot of money, but I'll give a beverage to any woman who asks for it.
You're kind.
This book is a great read, but so Scott introduced you to heroin. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Like I said, I was no angel. I had already discovered Coke and Jack Daniels. And
Good combination.
they're a good combination.
Wow. for
They
not
cancel
remembering
each other
much.
out.
Yeah. Takes the edge off.
Yeah, I mean, I went to rehab once, and then after that we reconnected. He happened to be in the same rehab that I was going to, and we spent some time together trying to both be sober, and we relapsed. And not too long after that relapse, I tried heroin. And honestly, the reason why I tried it, I thought it was going to be a one-time gig, and I was so in love with him that I wanted to understand why he would turn his life over to this and, let it disturb his career and music that he loved and family. And I didn't understand, and I wanted to experience that so I could understand. And
Did you understand after taking
I
heroin?
sure did understand.
Okay, now I can see.
I understood him
people throw everything
immediately.
away.
It took about 15 seconds to understand.
Wow.
Holy
That was
shit.
it for me.
You're bipolar too, which is never a good combination with drinking and drugs.
It's not a good combination
Right.
with food. It's no good.
What would set you off? Like, what combination would set you off the worst? I mean, obviously you weren't on anything for being bipolar at that time, right?
No, I was on heroin for bipolar. Yeah. It really keeps you calm.
Oh my God.
Well, I guess, see, what would set me off? Somebody drug hogging made me angry.
Well, that'll make you angry.
I was not happy about that. I guess it was, for the most part, when I wasn't using. And
Yeah.
it was just up and down moods. A lot of people experience mania as the majority of what their bipolar is. For me, it was a lot of depression. I spent a lot of time in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a real hard,
sleeping.
a high thread count, but also I was not able to pull it together.
Really? And then you'd have like manic moments where you would be like happy and up and just kind of life of the party girl, and then crash back down.
Yeah, I mean, the mania was two ways for me. The first was I would get really productive and just get on a roll. I'd say, like, you know what, I'm getting back to work. I'm going to Paris. And I'd arrive in Paris and spend a week working and doing really great, and then crash and come home.
Wow.
And so it was that, and then also I would get kind of jacked up and decide I wanted to use again.
Wow.
Because I wanted to calm myself down.
And getting back to it, when you met Scott, was he already on heroin?
No.
And so you saw him go from this guy where he had all this success and people loved him, and then he started just blowing everybody off, his family and friends, and obviously the bandmates after a while.
Yeah, I mean, you go into a whole nother dark place when you enter that world.
What made him get on board the old heroin?
You know what? I think that he had the same intention that I did, that I want to try it one time.
Apparently, no one just tries heroin once.
Yeah.
No.
It's
I haven't heard of one person saying they just did it that one time.
It's like, I'm just going to try sex once.
Yeah, right.
You can't remember that feeling and go like, not going to do that again.
The cover of my book, that picture was taken on the day that Scott first took heroin.
Wow.
Or tried heroin. I don't think
Really?
he took it, but he tried it.
Really? Okay.
I got to say, you got some nice gams on you.
She's beautiful.
Holy shit.
Mary's beautiful.
Nice pins.
Nice everything. You kidding?
And it also says you tried suicide in high school. Now, how like, you know, because I had my episodes too, drinking, drug, all that stuff.
Did you ever go to rehab? Because we may have been together.
But I'm much older than you, I think. I looked
started
terrific.
early.
But, I went.
So did Jimmy stopped early.
I stopped when I was 18. I went to rehab.
Yeah, look at her face. Exactly. Because most
Just
of
getting
us
started.
just getting started figuring out no one thinks they have a problem at 18. In my world, no one thought
Everyone
they did.
has a problem at 18 if you're drinking.
I understand that, but Jimmy knew that. That's why I'm saying
That's
this.
amazing.
He just
I'm always
knew.
jealous when I meet people that were like, I pulled it together at 14.
Right. Jimmy just knew.
Nah, but it was
Jimmy
obvious
just
it
knew.
had to happen. But it was a phony suicide attempt. It was the wrist slicing, but not really committed. You know, it's more
I wasn't committed in high school.
Was it more the attention seeking, the suicide attempt?
Oh, actually, I can't remember if it was high school or... No, it was junior high.
Or was it a real attempt?
It wasn't necessarily an attempt. I didn't want to die. I just wanted to sleep for a long time. And I knew that medication made you sleepy. So I assumed that I could sleep for a long time. Silly thought, but I was in junior high, so I didn't have a lot of good thoughts.
How were you saved?
I was in class, and my science teacher knew something was wrong. She sent me to the nurse's office. They figured out something was wrong with this girl and sent me to the hospital.
Wow.
That gives you some rep in school when they got to drag you out of, the ambulance.
Yeah, actually,
comes
I
up.
got my rep in school when police came and arrested me and took me to juvenile hall.
Nice.
What was that about? That had something to do with your mom, right? Or your mom's boyfriend?
Yeah, my mom had started dating this guy that was he was a fucking jerk. And
Why was he a jerk? Was he abusive, or was he just verbally abusive, or physically?
he came home one day, and I can't remember what the circumstances were, but he picked me up, like, over his head, threw me to the floor. And I went to the hospital. I was fine, but I told my counselor at school they have to report it. And police came. They talked to me. They went and talked to him. Of course, he said that I was threatening him with a knife and chasing him, and he was defending himself. And so I was arrested for assault with a deadly weapon.
Wow. And your mom took the boyfriend's side, obviously.
You know what? She wasn't there, so she didn't know what happened.
But I mean,
But she
she
didn't
should
take a
listen to her
side.
daughter. No.
Well, here's the deal. I was a rotten teenager, and
So you could have actually done that, like as far as
No, actually, I wouldn't have done that, but she thought like they were going to send me to juvenile hall, like drive me by and freak me out.
Yeah.
She didn't realize that I was going to get an outfit and stay. You know.
Yeah.
So
Must have looked fabulous on you.
Oh, it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. It was like a bra. Felt like it was made out of styrofoam cups.
Right. I love that.
It was a good look. It was a really good look.
So you went to juvenile hall, and being bipolar, and I don't think I am. I maybe, I don't know.
Everybody is.
Yeah, it's possible.
I was about to say that. I have no doubt I have a little of that in me.
Yeah, you're fucking quadpolar. That's possible. But you and Scott was also bipolar, and it's like it's never a good
That's a
combination.
bad recipe, you think, Jimmy?
Sometimes it's a bad recipe. Sometimes it's a good recipe because if one's up and one's down, or one's up and the other one's fine, you can, hold hands through it and get through it.
Right.
But if you're both bananas at the same time, not so
Well,
good.
you ended up burning his clothes and a bunch of things happened. But I mean,
Yeah, clothes burner.
how many years were you married
I know
to
the
Scott?
type.
9.
You were married 9 years.
Yeah, 18 years and then 9 years married.
Wait, 18 years.
Since we met
Okay,
18 years
gotcha.
ago. Yeah.
Wow. And you were married 9 years. Was it just
And by the way, that's like 20 years in LA years.
yeah, I'd imagine.
9 years, yeah, that's a long time in all years.
Exactly.
When did it really start going bad, the marriage?
Well, we struggled a lot and then had a lot of amazing runs. But just kind of towards the end, we took 2 different paths, You start out when you get married on the same road, and as you get older and have kids, and you make different choices. And this time it was better for us to kind of go our own way.
Have you stopped using?
Oh, yeah. I haven't used drugs in like 10 years. I like to call it a decade because that sounds
Yeah.
good.
It was like a long time.
But I only stopped drinking about 2.5 years ago.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
got sober 2.5 years ago, for real. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And how about, do you know if he is or you don't know?
I don't know if he's sober, but we spend a lot of time together and he's always fine. I don't know what he does in his off time. I really doubt that he's using drugs. I don't know if he's drinking, but
You still spend a lot of time together, though? Like,
dude, we
hang out?
lunch.
Really?
We go on family vacations. We hang out with the kids all the time.
How many kids did you guys have?
2.
2. 2 kids.
Yeah,
together.
okay. Do you think if it was, it's hard to be hypothetical and stuff, but do you think if it wasn't for the kids that you would still have some kind of, relationship, talking, like friendship thing going on? Yeah?
Well, I think we would have needed time and then probably reconnected. And I mean, we were friends for years prior to getting married.
Yeah,
so.
but sometimes marriage could sure fuck that up.
No, divorce fucks that up.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, good point.
So you go on family vacations and stuff. Now, is he with somebody else? Are you with somebody else? And is that awkward for your new partners?
You know what? Well, we both date. And we will literally go to lunch and talk about dating. Like, oh, I don't know if she's good for you. You might want to reconsider.
That doesn't bother you?
It's like Jerry
it was-
and Elaine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're not Bruce and Demi. That's not who we are.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
not like all hanging out, happy family.
Sure.
But, we both date and, give each other our feedback on whether or not we think we've got good choices going or just
Yeah.
a dead end. It was really weird at first.
Yeah.
Bet.
I want to go back to the clothes burning because Ann had an incident too.
Oh, yeah? Let me hear yours.
Yeah, it could,
Fire.
clothes burning thing. It wasn't my clothes, though.
Well, I didn't do my clothes either. I wouldn't touch my wardrobe.
No, it was, I didn't burn the clothes. The girl
Burn yours?
Burnt another girl's clothes. See, there's a whole
A friend of a friend of a friend.
involved in that
Well,
one.
there was a little
See,
incident
she
that might
opened
have
up
happened.
a door, a closet door in my house, and there happened to be a girl standing there.
Not a good hiding spot and not under the bed. You need to work
No.
out a new spot.
It almost happened like it was the DEA busting into the house. I really didn't have time to stash the goods anywhere.
Yeah, you can't flush a girl.
No. Karen! We needed that girl! They were gonna find her! No, so, and then, the original girlfriend, comes back and grabbed that girl's clothes and threw it in the fire pit and, a little lighter fluid and
Yeah.
Burnt it up. As my police officer friend apparently videotaped it. Why he did that, I'm still trying to figure it out, but yeah, that was my clothes burning episode in my backyard. There's still, I think, if you look close in the fire pit, you'll see some underwires.
Oh, nice.
Some bra underwires are still in there. Just
Little metal.
Certain things are hard to burn.
Yeah,
Shoes,
zippers.
take some time.
Yeah, you know that for a fact.
Yeah.
What made you do it? Like, what happened that you said, I'm just burning all of his shit?
Well, that was the day that I had my big manic episode. That I've never had one, as crazy as that, and I really just couldn't control. I had my thoughts of what to do, and then I had my true self going, yeah, not a good idea, but I couldn't stop what the other part of me was suggesting.
But what set you off? Was it something he did?
Yeah, I mean, I knew something was wrong with me, and I was freaking out. Something is wrong with me. Please help me. Please help me. Please help me. And Scott just thought, you know what? You're a spaz. You are a spaz. You need to chill out. And I tried to explain, no, something is wrong with me. And he was getting on a plane, going to Chicago, work on his solo album. And I said, don't get on that plane. I need you here. And like I said, he just thought I was spazzing. So he got on the plane, and on his way to the airport, I said, if you get on that plane, I'm going to take all your shit out of the closet and light it up. And the minute his phone, the minute he didn't answer his phone anymore, and I knew his plane took off, I stick to my word.
Wow.
So you set his stuff on fire where, in the yard?
In the driveway. I didn't want to light up the neighborhood. I brought out a fire extinguisher. I had a little bit of sanity.
You were safe about setting someone's
Her Smokey the Bear hat.
What was the most valuable thing in that fire?
Yeah.
It was...
He
was a little disappointed because the media's, the TMZs and whatnot, that put out the exclusive report because they knew everything, that it was $10,000 worth of clothes. And he's like, what is that, shirts? Shirts? That was $80,000. It was YSL, Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior. I mean, that guy knows how to dress. And I didn't mess around with JCPenney's.
Went
for the good stuff.
For the goods.
Did you burn anything irreplaceable, like things that were very personal to him, or was there a part of you that knew burn things that are financially valuable, but not anything that is going to really turn him on me?
Pick necessarily like that.
Grammy or something?
I've thrown a Grammy out the window. A Grammy's hit the street before.
Holy shit! Fuck your Grammy.
I love this girl, man.
Yeah.
You're all right.
Damn.
So you,
which can be repaired, by the way. There's a place for Grammy repair.
repair?
Yeah.
I'll never need one.
You and I both. No pitch.
Now, what's up with Scott and the band? Because you were close enough. I saw an incident at Jones Beach. What was that? A little over a year ago. It's very obvious they don't get along.
What, Velvet Revolver or STP?
STP, when they got back together.
They get along.
Screaming
I mean,
match.
he's not.
Scott made everyone wait at PNC for, how long was it, Danny? Like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
And
well, that's probably because I wasn't there. Everybody loves it when I'm there because I'm like a drill sergeant. Go, 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 run, run, run. Move it, move it, move it. Get on the stage, and he'll be on time.
Yeah,
but it
no.
takes...
This was so bad that when the Leo brothers, when Scott got off the bus, we were backstage because we were featuring the show, or whatever, and there was some yelling and screaming. The word C was used about maybe a woman that possibly was on the bus with Scott. It was a bad scene. And then next thing you know, they walked on stage and performed like they're best of buds, but they were having a problem.
Yeah, well, he might have not been in top form that night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's that, not being 100%. That will not get you onto the stage on time. And then sometimes he just runs on rock time. It takes him, he's so into giving a performance, and you're going to get your money's worth, that it takes him time to prepare, not repair, but well, probably both, but prepare. Yeah, so he takes a little time sometimes, but I think he's worth the wait. Maybe not 2 hours, but...
Why did the band go their separate ways at first, before they got back together recently?
You know what? I think we both filed divorce at the same time. Like, I think I filed at that same time. Everybody was just kind of done with his shenanigans.
It was just getting so out of control they didn't want to work with him anymore?
You know what? The older you get, the less you want to deal with somebody.
That's bullshit you want to take? Yeah. True.
Would you ever consider, because you guys are still friends, you still go out, do you see any future with both of you if you both stay sober, or if he's, sober for real, and you're both on stuff for being bipolar? Do you see any possible future?
Bringing it on again? I don't know. I would never say, but we've spent so much time together that it's kind of nice to experience life separate. But, you know, I don't know. I love him. I will always love him. He's my teenage sweetheart. That will never go away. But I don't know. Not right now, though.
That shit never goes away? Oh.
That feeling. You know what I mean? Well, think about your first love.
Oh, boy.
You know, you have no matter how it turned out.
That was always miserable.
That's true.
They still have a place in your heart, you know, and that's who he is for me.
So was he your first?
Uh-oh.
Is that what you're hinting at, maybe? No.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No.
I came prepared. I knew what I was doing.
She was a wild girl.
No.
Yeah.
I could count on my fingers.
Oh, okay.
How old were you?
So can I with a fucking calculator? Not different girls
An
have slept with.
abacus?
Well, if you count free ones, I can count from one hand.
Some people don't count, though.
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
My mother listens, for crying out loud. I don't want her to be frightened.
She listens to the Opie and Anthony
But
show.
I will tell you this. I didn't kiss anybody until I was in high school.
Oh, wow.
Okay, but how about other stuff?
Right, exactly.
That could be a fucking
really interesting.
She's throwing us off the path.
It took me longer to go there.
Yeah.
To kiss then.
No.
To-
Kiss was the first thing. You got to start somewhere.
Wait, I'm confused.
Okay.
So you didn't do anything till high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's
All right.
normal stuff.
All right, I'm getting the drift there.
Wait,
Yeah. No, I'm saying that it took me a while, and the first thing was a kiss, and I didn't even kiss anybody till high school.
Okay, I got you.
Any girls?
No, I have no interest. I have all those parts. What do I need to look at yours?
Because they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good to look
girl
at.
parts rule.
But guy parts are a fucking good time.
Not to me.
Well, that's how I feel about girls.
We're going to have to agree to disagree on that one. You're not going to convince us of that one.
You were modeling at like 16. You got emancipated, and you were flying all over the world and modeling. What were you doing? Runway, print? What?
I'm too short to do shows. So,
Really?
Yeah.
You walked in here. You got
I
pretty
brought
tall.
my height, but apparently I didn't bring it enough back in the day. Yeah, not a problem because I have stage fright, so
Oh, really?
really bad. And
You anxious? Do you have anxiety too, along with like bipolar?
only if I'm on the radio.
Oh no,
you're doing good.
You're fine.
My doctor gave me performance and anxiety medication, and I took it once because I wanted to try it before I came to New York to start all this up. I thought maybe this will help me because I'm so nervous. I was like, I'm sleepy. It makes me really sleepy. I was not anxious at all, but I needed a nap, so that didn't work out.
People are probably like, "Oh my gosh, she's on heroin.
drugs again."
Oh, she's so on the drugs.
Do you take anything for being bipolar?
I sure do.
What do you take?
I take a handful in the morning and a handful at night.
Oh, it's a bunch of different...
Yeah, it's a cocktail. That's the only
mixture.
cocktail I get.
Is it stuff that kills? I've talked to my therapist about. I won't take anything because I'm afraid of creativity being fucked with.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And sex drive. Is that because there's ways that?
Sex drive?
Oh, so it's not one that
No.
targets that stuff. Okay, good.
No. It's just a mood stabilizer. Just kind of keeps you from going bananas or going down.
I've always been afraid of that. Like you just become, because I know a lot of guys that have taken it, and all of a sudden they got like white shit in the corner of their mouth, and it's like, "How are you?" You know, and they just talk too long, and you lose interest.
They just stare straight ahead, stare right through you.
Those are people
I think
that
they're on something else.
yeah, maybe they're overdosing on it or something.
But you don't. Do you still think the same way you used to without the craziness? Like, does it make you feeling less creative, or?
You know what? It makes me control my crazy. Because I'm a crazy girl.
Yeah.
That's just going
part
to
of
be
who you
there.
are, yeah.
That's just going to be there. But when I get a crazy thought, now I know, like, you don't want to do that.
What's a crazy thought that would just hit you that you know is not rational?
Like I want to punch someone.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's cool.
Every day I get that thought.
Every
Oh my
fucking
God! You
moment
walk
I
out
get
on the
that.
streets of New York and there's punchable people everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yes.
I literally, sometimes I'm in LA, I'm driving, I want to get out of my car when there's somebody slow in front of me, just run up alongside them and punch them in the throat.
Punch him. Yeah. Oh my God! Right? Get out of the left lane.
But that's normal stuff. That really is normal.
Yeah, but I would act out on that before.
Okay.
And I
Punching the people in the-
I kickbox, so I'm going to
do you?
hurt you.
Oh damn!
Really?
Yeah. So
Jimmy's
nice
a really good kickboxer. You want to do a little thing with Jimmy right now?
Yes,
Jimmy, why don't you show us your kickboxing?
I didn't bring my gear.
Me neither. and I brought the body of a mushy man. Normally I would have my washboard abs here, but
he left them home today.
Yes, I brought the body of a fucking schlub.
Hey, you used to hang with Dave Navarro too, right?
Yeah, I got a lot of good friends. Dave's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He comes across a little kooky.
He's really sweet.
There's a couple things in your book about Dave Navarro, though.
Yeah. He's got good stories.
We've talked to him many times over the years. He's a great guy.
He's a really good guy.
But what's the story with the fire department? He used to call the fire department on himself?
Well, he was bananas, too. It's like the flu in L.A. And he had his moment of not being in tip-top shape. And I guess you would call the DWP and... he wouldn't call the DWP.
What's DWP?
They would come out, the Department of Water and Power. They would come out and he'd see them and think they were like FBI or something and pull a shotgun on them.
Oh, shit.
Or he would call the fire department on himself.
For what reason?
The fire department.
Well, I'm sure he thought there was an issue that needed to be sorted. Maybe he saw me in the neighborhood. I don't know.
Yeah, she's going to burn something. And
God, the listeners are falling in love with you. And for someone that's nervous to be on the radio, you're killing.
Yeah, you don't sound nervous.
No, not at all. You're doing really, really well.
You guys are a good time.
What made you write a book too? Like it's all of a sudden to go, all right, I want to just kind of open my life up, and just let people read all the good and the bad. Was it an issue of needing money, or was it an issue?
No, dude, I'm in the hole from this book. Please buy it. I'm so in the hole. It's cost me so much money that it's depressing.
How did it cost? Is it self-published or?
No, it's Harper's, but
they didn't give you an advance or
they
any of that.
did, but then it got.
But it went to all the drugs you're still doing.
No, exactly. Heroin is expensive. No, it's, you have agents and all these people, and they take their chunk, and then you're like, wow, I can buy shoes
what's
now.
left, yeah.
Did you write this with anybody? It says with Larkin Warren.
Yeah, because it was really important to me. Well, actually, I'll go back to your first question and then get to Larkin. It was really important. I got the deal while Scott and I were still married. There's a ton of, I'm getting so much slack because people think I've written a tell-all, Scott bashing, hate him. Now that we're getting a divorce, I'm going to say shit about him, which it's not even close to that. But
The penis Scott Weiland came into the room and just bash him.
Yeah. We have to fix that because that's so not true.
No one would believe it.
I can't have that on the radio.
He's got a piece, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Skinny guy. Fucking skinny guys are always the best.
Yeah.
But anyways, I wrote
isolate that.
Really?
I didn't mean that.
But I wrote it because after I was diagnosed with bipolar, I started reading all these books about other people and that they had bipolar, and it was so much mania, and they did all kinds of, they were fucking everybody and doing all kinds of crazy shit, and I was thinking like, yeah, that's not me. I had so much depression, so I wanted to write my experience because I imagine there's got to be somebody else that wasn't out on the street selling it, and I thought maybe they could relate, and also the addiction part, and it's awesome to know that you can recover from it and you can be happy and lead an awesome life. And, there's so much hopelessness.
Did you guys ever joke about how everyone was getting his name wrong?
You mean Scott Weiland?
Yeah. Weiland.
You know what my daughter said to me the other day? Can we change our name? Because I'm sick of Weilands. She's 7. She's over it. Yeah, I did. I was talking to somebody yesterday about the book, and they kept going, I've got Mary Weiland here with us. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Is Scott happy that you wrote this book?
You know what? I'm so happy because it was so important to me that he was happy with it.
He was cool with it.
It's his story, too, you know? And he didn't want to read the whole thing. He's like, let me just read the important parts. So he
highlight everything that's me.
Yeah. So I read the important parts, and after I didn't read it. He read it. I didn't read it to him. After he read it, he gave me a hug and a kiss, and he said, "You wrote a good book."
Wow. That's pretty cool, huh?
I was having a heart attack in the other room while he was reading it.
I can imagine.
Because there was still time for him to, for me to take something out if he was unhappy with it.
Plus, as an artist, let's be honest, the guy is a very, very respected creator and artist, and you're creating something, and you want it to be respected by an artist you respect as well as the ex.
Yeah, I mean, he's the father of my children.
I just say respect once more.
I always say it 4 to 5 times per sentence. We know that. It's a minimum.
Fucking love what he does.
Can you start spelling it, too?
I have my Aretha moments. I'm not necessarily bipolar, but occasionally we all think we're ladies, don't we?
The other thing, I mean, we've almost covered everything, but I didn't know that Scott's brother, Michael, died.
Yeah, isn't that so sad?
That's really sad. When did that happen? He was on heroin, too, Michael?
He dabbled in some different things.
He died of an overdose, right?
Yeah, I mean, technically, I'll never get the diagnosis right. I've written it in there, but he had a heart issue, and because he used drugs, the heart issue is what killed. Yeah, right. What killed him. And
how long ago was that?
It was just before I lit everything up, so that was a good year for Scott.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you say in the book, I believe, he never really got over that. I mean, that's a tough one to get over.
He's not over it. I don't know how I'd get over my brother dying.
Yeah, of course.
I have no clue how that would happen for me.
Right.
Is there anything you regret? I mean, we all look back and have moments and like, yeah, you don't regret life, don't regret the past or want to close the door on it. But is there anything you look back on that you're like, oof, like I kind of wish that was different?
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that I wish was different, but yet at the same time, it's all good right now. So I don't know if my life would be awesome if it just started out.
What is something that you would like to change?
Well, I'm going to school right now to be a certified drug and alcohol counselor. So I'd like to get through that and actually complete it.
Well, they have the best drugs.
Jesus.
Well, you know how to use them the best. I'm actually going there to learn more.
Yeah. What do you got in your pocket?
Oh, and
Before we talk, empty your pockets.
You asked me about Larkin, and it was really important for me to have her for 2 reasons. One, I've never written a book before, and I needed some guidance. And the other thing is I wanted to make sure that, what I wrote, and I worked with my doctors and a therapist, that the information on bipolar and addiction was
accurate.
Oh, right,
yeah.
But you also got to pay somebody. That's what I was saying. Is like you talk about the advance. Like you got to pay 15% to a book agent. You got to pay 10% or 15% to a manager or an agent, and plus you got to pay somebody who's helping you write. It's like that's where the money goes.
Do you take responsibility?
So basically, I'm on food stamps right now. I need help, please.
Yeah. Everyone's got to buy this book, please. Do you take responsibility for your craziness?
Yes.
Because I asked that because, well, I mean, I'm
nice medical jargon.
Well, whatever. I mean, I got someone that's close to me in my life that is fucking bat crazy, but never took responsibility for any of it. It was always whenever it got tough.
Makes for a good show. Okay?
Oh no, shit, it does.
So just let me.
It's an
alarm.
Yeah, it's my mother, Mary. Just so you know.
I'm sure it's my phone.
Is that your phone? It might be Scott going.
My alarm.
Shut up.
Please shut it, lady.
Wow, what a pompous ringtone.
It's not a ringtone.
No, that's an alarm.
Oh, is it?
That's the alarm I use to wake up every morning.
Why do you?
Yeah, and I shut it off.
Oh boy, look at her.
But apparently it
This means something. Trust me.
No, that's kind of cool though. Look, you get to see a leg.
Oh, all right. Turn off your alarm.
I'm gonna snooze.
No, I don't blame you. No, because my mom, pretty damn crazy, never took responsibility, and when the going got tough, it was always like, "What do you want from me? I'm ill." It's like, well, that's great, but it's affecting everyone around you.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely take responsibility for all of my actions. I did it. Nobody made me do it.
How do you explain it to your kids?
They understand that mommy and daddy have something that sometimes they make bad decisions because they have a hard time. When you're bipolar, you have a hard time making good decisions.
Yeah.
And sometimes mommy and daddy make bad decisions. They don't know a lot because it's not age appropriate. But, my son actually saw Carrie Fisher's book recently, and she's on the cover dressed as Princess Leia. And he asked me what the book was about. He said, is that a Star Wars book? And I said, you know what? Princess Leia is bipolar, too. And you could just see the kid lost like 20 pounds of like, oh, okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah, someone else.
Yes, it's just not my parents. So.
Are you scared they're going to be bipolar?
No, I'm thinking positive for them.
Good.
Scott and I always say 2 negatives got to equal a positive. And that works out in math. I'm hoping it works out in childbirth.
Fucking funny, man.
But at the same time, if, God forbid, they were ever to go down the roads that Scott and I have, the difference between us and them would be our parents didn't know anything. They didn't know how to fix us. We'll be able to recognize it, and we'll be able to help right away.
You think it was all chemical imbalance with you, or was it something in your upbringing, or?
I had a lot of chaos in my childhood, but I think I handled it pretty well. I honestly
sometimes you
think
you did, and then like later on you realize,
this room was filled with people that had chaos in their upbringing.
We are hard.
Filled.
Except
for Jimmy, I think.
I have the issues.
No issues whatsoever, which is an issue if you have no issues.
There was so much chaos in my family, and so much in Anthony's, and Jimmy has shared it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my parents were 18 and 19 when I was born.
Wow.
Not the strongest level of parenting skills, but they did a good job. They did a pretty good job, and you do better when you know better. And I'm not mad at anybody.
I love opening a book, too, and just seeing what's the first thing you read. Like, sometimes it's just interesting to see where you wind up. So I happen to open Mary's book, and I think it's page 158. First thing I read. And then there was the modeling trip where I got cripplingly drunk at an airport bar in Atlanta and surfaced at a coke party in New York City.
Cripplingly drunk.
That's how you know a book is going to be really interesting, when the first fucking thing you read is a blackout that covers, I guess, at least a plane trip.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I remember that. There was a layover, which I didn't used to do well on layovers or late delayed flights, because there's always a bar sitting next to your gates. I'm like, well, I'm going to waste some time. And then they're like, it's another hour. It's another hour. Oh, I'll waste more time here at the bar. And I made a lot of friends at the bar.
Did you ever miss a flight?
Yeah. And I made a lot of friends, and I was in coach, and they were all in first class, and they traded their seats for the people that were around me in coach so we could keep it going. They gave up their first class.
That's how you know a woman is fucking hot.
All right.
Yeah, yes. That's because you're hot.
That's what...
None of us are getting that deal.
I've actually had the airline remove me from first class because I was visually unpleasant.
A more attractive person in coach that they wanted to bring.
Yeah, they've actually given me the fucking 2 seats in coach for someone with a better jawline than me in first.
Wow.
Yeah, Scott and I've been removed from a plane before.
Oh, really?
You have?
Yes.
For...
intoxication.
Yeah, it's for what you would guess.
Arguing, or was it being visibly drunk, or was it being disruptive?
You know what? I don't even call it either of those. I just spilled champagne all over his pants, and so he took off his pants because he got to air them out, and that's not a good look for first class.
Yeah.
I mean, he wore a blanket as a skirt, but still not a good look.
It's probably a good look for him.
And we hadn't even, they hadn't even closed the door yet, and this is already.
Okay, get out. We've
Once
had enough with
again,
you.
by the way,
right?
Late plane.
See, always the problem.
Admirals Club. Yeah.
Admirals Club. What airline is that? It's not United. No.
It's American.
American.
Oh, is it?
Yes. United is the red carpet club.
Well, you made me just get Continental, so I go to the President's Club.
Yes. I love all these important names just to sit there and eat crackers. But they fucking make you shitty flight weight and flat Diet Coke.
It really is the truth.
President's Club eats my ass.
The President's Club. Great.
And they got guards at the door, guards at the desk, guards at the stairway.
Yeah. Show your platinum card. Show your first class boarding.
For what?
I mean, for Melba Toast.
Yeah, exactly. And a fucking bag of chips. Well, free goodies, an apple.
A watered down fucking thimble full of Bloody Mary, too.
It just stinks.
Could you tell us one good heroin story? Whether
I'm sure I can.
How about one that just sticks out in your mind? Whether it's just you with somebody else, you and Scott, I don't care. Just one that really pops in your mind.
Oh, God. There was one time when we were at home, and we'd spent a lot of time in our home, and Scott was drug hogging, and I got very upset about it, so we got into a huge fight, and the neighbors called the police, and we were leaving to go downtown to replace his drug hogging, and the police showed up, helicopter, whole thing, and they had us in handcuffs. And I thought, fuck, man, I got to talk my way out of this. And I had the worst dry mouth ever. And there was a Gatorade sitting 2 feet away from me. And I'm like, can I please have a sip of that Gatorade? I want it. So I got to talk my way out of this. And I don't know how I did it, but I talked our way out of it.
Did they give you the sip of Gatorade?
They didn't give it. They're like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Give her the Gatorade.
They wanted to hear her talk with Cottonmouth.
They probably did.
Funny.
Yeah.
Gee, that was some crazy. My lips were not wanting to prowl. Hey, this is not what it looks like. You know?
Were you guys scared you were going to OD? Where that doesn't really cross your mind when you're in that state?
No, I wore a heart rate monitor all the time.
Holy shit.
What?
Really?
Because we would shoot speedballs, and it's coke and heroin together. And I didn't want to kick it, so I wore a heart rate monitor, and every time I would shoot up, I would watch the watch.
It's like a tack. You didn't want it to go in the red, you blow your engine.
Yeah. And I would just watch it and be like, oh, I'm good. And
wow.
That's fucked.
yeah, and I always
It's
had.
so fucked.
I thought
That
I
is
was
so
very
fucked up.
I always thought I was very safe junkie, and so I would have 911 on speed dial right next to me, my heart rate monitor on. Every day I would drink 1 Gatorade and have a power bar to keep my nutrients. Just want to keep it.
Always good when speedballing.
Yes.
You don't want to get parched, number one.
Sure. That's a good
and you
plug.
don't want to hear your stomach growl. You're having a good time, you know.
Damn, you were in it pretty good.
What music would you guys listen to?
If funny is what always made us relapse was Appetite for Destruction.
Really?
And then it was crack up that he would go and work with Velvet Revolver, but
Shit, right?
I know I was like, oh, this is gonna be,
Not good.
this might not turn out so well.
Yeah, he surprised the band when he left Velvet Revolver too, right?
Yeah,
He just made that announcement on stage. Where was it? In Europe somewhere?
yeah, like Glasgow. or
Yeah,
something.
sure.
Yeah.
And
What did he
then,
say?
He said, "I'm leaving the band," and the band's like, "What?
Yeah,
you didn't tell us that."
I think he said, yeah, everybody's witnessing the last show or the last tour or whatever.
Was he a selfish guy?
Not with family.
No, but I mean, aside from family, like with attitudes and stuff with the band or bandmates or other partners.
They'll say yes for sure. I think he's a smart guy. He's running a business. He's creating and being a creative person and entertaining. But there's the other side of it where you're running a business. And if you're the president, I'm sure people think Donald Trump, I'm not saying they're the same, but I'm sure people think Donald Trump is selfish too.
He probably is.
A little bit.
Well, we're fans of his work, man.
Trump or him?
No, fuck Trump.
I mean, I'm saying
For real,
we all are selfish to a
STP.
certain degree.
I still love putting the STP albums on and some of the Velvet Revolver stuff. Amazing. And they're
You just love songs about me, I know it.
Oh, what songs are about you?
What songs are not?
Oh,
No, I'm joking.
shit.
I'm joking.
Which ones are about you?
A lot of Shangri-La-Di-Da. Let's see. There's some Velvet Revolver songs. This might be surprising, but Mary Mary.
Right. He did a song.
A few.
I
Called
think
Pieces. Yeah.
he did a song called, I think it was Atlanta. Sounded
Yeah.
like Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
Holy shit, is that a good song?
Yeah, that's number 4, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. But
yeah.
didn't really get any airplay. But if you're an STP fan, you go, wow, this guy's got the
They have a
fuck.
lot of songs that are just amazing vibe,
Right.
but they don't get there.
Are you sour girl?
I'm not sour girl. I know. I kind of wish I was a little bit.
Maybe
of
you were sour girl.
No.
And it's because of the dry mouth. It's not even a cool
Exactly.
reason.
Yeah, inspired by her cotton mouth.
Right.
Is he going to help you promote the book at all?
I don't really want him to.
Oh, you don't want him to?
No.
It's her thing, right?
Yeah, I don't want to ride on his name. I mean, I already have his last name, you know. So that should do it. And I want to feel like I did something and I helped people and I, played my part.
10 years later, like a decade later of being clean, do you miss? Do you ever get an urge and go like, oh, that was pretty good?
Not really, but I joke that once my daughter's in college, I'm done. I'm back on.
Oh my God! Don't joke.
Oh no, little reservation. Oh, those are bad.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen, but every time they have a birthday, I'm like, getting closer.
1 year closer.
I think I would start doing heroin at like 70. Why not?
You know what?
For real, why not?
Probably feel better.
What else do you got to do?
Right, I'm not even joking.
Wait
Why
for
not?
your Meals on Wheels? Why not still be comfortable?
If you can afford it and hang out, screw it. Put on your heart monitor. It gets up to like 8.
She put on a heart monitor.
That's the beauty of an addict. It's like, like if you ate broccoli and it caused all these horrible effects, you'd go, you know what? No more broccoli. But drugs is like, all right, I gotta have the heart monitor and 911. Okay, now I can enjoy.
True.
Yeah, Scott, that wasn't Scott. Scott was just
Scott would just go with it.
He was just winging it. I was like, we can't wing it. We got to put this show together. This is
camp.
Right.
Yeah.
You probably saved his life with everything you were doing to set this whole thing up. Who knows? Hey, is the band healthy?
Yeah, they're good.
Because I think I read recently they're getting ready to maybe try to.
They're touring right now
and put out another record.
Yeah,
possibly.
and I've heard a lot of it, and I really like it.
Really?
It's good. Yeah, I think everybody's ready for some more STP.
And you're dating?
Yeah, a little bit.
Is it good?
A little bit.
LA does not have the greatest selection, which is unfortunate.
Why? Because they're just fucking
douchebags everywhere.
I would assume, yeah, the selection's limited to a very niche.
It's like you're a celebrity or a douchebag or a celebrity douchebag. And these are not.
That's what our show is. Yeah.
Do you date
douchebag?
Do you date regular guys, meaning people that aren't in the business?
Yeah, I actually prefer to never go down this road again. I mean, Scott was not a celebrity when I fell in love with him, so that was never my intention. But
would you ever bring a guy you were dating to a show with him? Would you guys ever be that comfortable where you'll see his girl and you'll bring a guy you're dating?
More thing, man.
No, but it's
I don't know.
Bruce and Demi
Scott
thing.
never wants to know much information.
Yeah,
of course not.
You know, he doesn't want to know a lot. So we can talk openly, but he doesn't want to meet some guy.
You don't want to see a face. You don't want to hear details.
Yeah, but you know what? His ex-wife, she has gone to shows where she's brought her new husband and stuff.
That's weird. You talked to her ever?
No, I've not since I was a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
You ever go on a date with a guy that goes, "Hey, why don't we go karaoke bar? I sing pretty good."
or does an STP song embarrassingly bad?
Sometimes people don't know. I don't say anything. I just show up. I went on a blind date like a year and a half ago. I'm like, hey. And this guy you wanted to talk about music and stuff. He's like, yeah, I'm a big STP fan. And I was like, really? Me too.
Yeah, I could tell you a thing or two.
I like the STP.
You ever?
No, I bet I'm a bigger fan than you are. Well, did you ever fuck him?
A little off track, but there's two voices I love. It's your ex-husband and Lane Staley. You ever meet Lane?
No, I saw Alice in Chains at a tiny club in Milan in the early 90s. It was an amazing show, but I never met him. I know Jerry Cantrell really well. He's a really cool guy. Yeah. I like him a lot.
He comes around every once in a while.
He should come around a lot because he's cool. I like him.
Right on.
Yeah.
I think we did it.
Is the
we got to
book
get her
out
out
now,
of here.
Mary? It's out now, or is it coming out?
It's out now, supposedly, although I have friends and family that are like, yeah, I went to the store. It's not there.
Well, I'm sure
There's no way to sell books.
They should be there.
Books should be in the bookstore.
I got to tell you, I read a lot of rock books, and I went through this pretty heavily, and it's a great read. It really is. It's refreshing because you're honest and very open in this book. You're not really holding back much.
No, you know what? Some people live behind a smile and denial, and I don't see the point, really. That's not how I grew up. I grew up with a family that was like, whoa, this sucks. Whoa, I made a mistake.
There's some wow moments in this book. You're going to be like, your mouth's going to be open like, what the fuck? The heart monitor.
Okay.
I don't even know if I wrote about that. Maybe.
I didn't see it, the pages I read, but you said it here today. What do you got, it?
I'm just looking at a picture of, I guess, you and your dad in 1978. And
you like that?
Your dad looks like he has to get up and go to high school.
He did, actually. He did have to get up.
Now, you just said that your parents were very young when they had you, but there's like young, and then there's mature young, and this looks like he's holding a bottle of beer. Look at how young he looks.
Oh, my God.
That's a kid.
Check out our house, though. Seriously, it looks like the set of Roseanne. It's so messed up.
The wood paneling, and
yeah, we lived in some interesting homes.
Really cool pictures too. I love a book with pictures.
I know.
Fucking 41, and I like looking at pictures.
You know what? I wish I just put out a coffee table book.
They don't sell well.
Problems.
They don't sell well. Metallica did one. They don't sell well for some reason. So you're probably smarter to put.
Yeah, I have a picture in there that's the day after I first slept with Scott.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me see if you're smiling.
I think it's this one.
No.
Oh, shit.
Was it my rubber dress that...
No, it was your...
It.
What? Which one? You figured it out?
It's the one where they're both holding beers, but he has a look on his face which says, I just fucked a really hot girl.
He's holding the beer. I'm like, hey. We really got to get her out of here.
Thank you, Mary. It's called Fault to Pieces. It's in stores now. I'm sure if you just go to nonfiction, you'll find it, or it might be on the front tables. And it's nice and honest. A memoir of drugs, rock and roll, and mental illness.
And how do you pronounce the last name? Come on.
Weiland.
Yeah, I say that now.
Yes.
I think I used to mess it up.
You say Weiland, yeah. Everybody said Weiland.
Everybody says Weiland.
Weiland, too, sometimes.
Weiland.
But it's Weiland.
Mary Weiland. What a pleasure, man. I hope you come back and see us. I hope this book does well for you, because it really is good. What's the name of the book again, Jimmy?
It's called Fall to Pieces.
Fall to Pieces?
Yes.
A memoir of drugs, rock and roll, and mental illness. All right.
Yeah, let's take a break. I'll get you.
Yeah, right on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Opie and Anthony, Jim Norton. Man, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, she was really nervous to do our show, Mary Weiland, and they weren't sure they were going to book her on our show. See, we can handle some guests the proper way.
She did our first radio interview yesterday, apparently.
Wow-wee. Belladonna's in studio.
Giving Jimmy a nice little greeting.
Wow-wee, are we happy.
Hi.
Hey, really fast before we get to Belladonna, just want to tell everyone that Mary Weiland gave us all chocolates.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is nuts. I love her.
Which I am not going to eat.
No? Why?
I don't know what they're fucking maybe in our pockets with dope. No, I'm trying not to eat chocolate.
Was there a little note that said, "Welcome to the world of heroin"?
Yeah.
In here.
They frighten me.
I ate one.
Are they good?
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. If you make it out the front door, maybe I'll regret giving mine.
I should be peaking soon.
These are really good chocolates. We just talked to Mary Weiland, who's, Scott Weiland's ex-wife from STP.
I was listening.
Okay. Did you hear the heart monitor part?
No.
That was a fucking reveal today.
They were her and Scott would speedball, and she was afraid, like any good health-conscious speedballer will do, that her heart was going to explode. So they put a heart monitor on, and she would just watch her heart tick.
And 911 on speed dial.
Whoa.
And a Gatorade and a power bar. And she was set.
That's intense.
Yeah. And that's coming from Belladonna.
I know, right?
Well, you deal with a lot of the same kind of people that she was dealing with. I mean, and people in porn are very much like the rock. I mean, they kind of intermix. I mean, that's every rock star's dream, is to date somebody who's, does adult films.
In the industry.
Yeah.
I like to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The business, yeah.